If you can't kill a boss, no reason why you can't look like one. Moogle putting the wow in transmogs. We're going to start out in Legion with the Grave-Dredged Pauldrons, Tomb of Sargeras, Heroic, the Desolate Host. Sounds like something from the movie Alien. 10% is the drop rate. Moving on to the chest. Grievous Gladiator's Dreadplate chest piece from the MOP PvP vendor. If you hoard, it'll be Prideful Gladiator. 3 marks of honor, same price for both Horde and Alliance. Moving on, the belt. It's going to bring us to Crucible of Storms. As you can see, the boss, 5% on the drop rate for the Mind Thief's Eldritch Clasp. That's an odd name for a belt. Then again, who really names a belt? The legs, part of the same PvP tier set as the chest, which of course is from Pandaria, Mist of Pandaria, 3 marks of honor to get the pants. Moving on to the feet, Spiked Terrorwake Great Boots, Tomb of Sargeras, Heroic, various mobs where you can pick those up on the auction house. Nice little piece to have for your XMOG collection. Moving on to the hands, which are the Grave Warden Handguards, Tomb of Sargeras, Heroic, Hard Jaden is the boss. So there's a little bit of MOP, and it's a little bit of Legion, and just one little touch of BFA. The back, also BFA, Uldir, Fetid Devourer, 9% on the drop rate for the Horror, Terror, blah, blah, blah cloak. The headpiece is part of the same, I was going to say tier set, I don't know. It's from the Burning Throne, basically. And the weapon, great looking weapon out of Ice Crown Citadel. We're moving on to a little bit of an unholy look here. The Pauldrons of Cyclopean Dread. Siege of Orgrimmar, Siege Crafter, Black Fuse. Decent drop rate on those from MOP. The chest piece is Serpent Shrine Cavern, Lady Vaj, 18% on the drop rate for that chest piece from BC. Moving on, we're going to show you the belt, part of the same tier set as the shoulder. Siege of Orgrimmar, Suntend Heart is the boss, 18% on the drop rate. Next up, the legs. This is part of a raid drop set from BC, the legs and the chest. So the Greaves of the Blood Warder. That's a great, great name for an undead or unholy undead. DK. Look at that cape. Cape really draws in things nicely. So the feet are, or the boots are, just a quest reward from Howling Forge. The hands, straight out of Siege of Orgrimmar, Siege Crafter, Black Fuse, 22% on the drop rate. So I believe the belt and the shoulders and the hands, all part of the same tier set from MOP. The back, Black Temple, Illidan Stormrage himself. You're not prepared, so be prepared to get that cloak if you take him out. Throne of Thunder is the place to get the headpiece, puncture-proof great helm. Moving on to the weapon, which is what I think really looks awesome. This is from your garrison. The shoulders spin us back to Cataclysm. Ruthless Gladiator's Dreadplate Shoulders, Stormwind or Orgrimmar, Cata PvP vendor, 3 marks of honor, very easy and simple to pick up. The chest piece is part of a PvP tier set from Blackrock Foundry, Enforcer Sorka, 26% on the drop rate for the chest piece. Moving on, we're going to show you a Worgen and the belt, which is Ruthless Gladiator's Girdle of Cruelty. Stormwind Orgrimmar, Cata PvP vendor, 1 mark of honor to get the old PvP set. So the shoulders, the gloves, the belt, and I believe the boots are all from your Cata PvP vendor. So moving on, Firestorm Lake Plates, Blackrock Foundry, and we're going to show you the feet. As I said, yes, Ruthless Gladiators, War Boots of Cruelty. Stormwind Orgrimmar, Cata PvP vendor, 2 marks of honor. So that, look at that weapon and that cloak. I think it really works for this DK set. The Ruthless Gladiators Dreadplate Gauntlets. So we got a little bit of a PvP Cata type thing mixed in with the chest and the legs, which are part of a tier set. So that's basically what we have here. The Cloak of Crimson Snow. This is Wrath of the Lich King level tailoring, or you can just step up by it on the auction house. The head, Hellfire Citadel, Demon Glaze, or Gaze, I should say. Cormrock is the boss, 5% on the drop rate. And the weapon is straight out of Ice Crown Citadel, heroic 10-man from the Lich King. Now we're showing the Blood DK a little bit of love. You gotta head over to Ulduar to pick up the shoulder plates of the Eternal, 15% on the drop rate. So the shoulders, the gloves, the boots, all from Ulduar. I believe they're all from the same set. So what you might have to do is go to Wowhead and look it up. Look up the boots or the shoulders and then hit the link for the set and then get the name of the gloves, because I made a mistake on the gloves. The belt is the Dark Crest belt, Blood Furnace, various mobs, or you can just step up and buy it on the auction house. Dwarf has got a lot of places to go, a lot of places to be. He is moving quick. Now the legs and the chest are both out of Firelands heroic, and they both have a pretty good drop rate. Shanix drops the leg plates of Frenzied Devotion at a 26% clip. The feet, Sabatons of Lifeless Night, of course. Ulduar, Gift of the Observer, 5% on the drop rate. Ulduar, one of the better raids, I think. Don't you guys think Ulduar is a good raid? Although I don't like it when, as I said, this is the mistake I made with the hands, so you're going to have to do the dance that I mentioned earlier. But I don't like any kind of quests, raids, or dungeons where you lose control of your character and you have to go in a vehicle. It just kind of bothers me. Anyway, but that's me. That's solely objective. Or subjective would be a better way to say it. The head, Warmongering Combatant, Dreadplate Helm. If you're Horde, it'll be Wild, 3 marks of honor. And finally, we are at the weapon, Warmonger, Winter Spring, drops from a rare, 10% drop rate. We're going to start off with the shoulders, the Dread Commanders, Pauldron's Cathedral of Eternal Night, Mephistroth. That sounds like a soup to me. I don't know. Next up, the chest, Barnacle-crusted breastplate. The Eternal Palace, Lady Ashvane drops the chest at about a 5% drop rate, which you really can't see behind the tabard, which I think really makes the set look sweet. The belt, Petrified Husk Girdle, Cathedral of Eternal Night, Agronox. Boy, where are these names coming from? They're like tongue-twisting and they're strange, and no doubt people made fun of them in grade school. Tide Goddesses, Wargreaves, the Eternal Palace, Queen Ajara, kind of a low drop rate to get the legs. Moving on, we are showing you a Night Elf dude with 2 Toad Thrash Stompers, straight out of Cathedral of the Eternal Night. Dominatrix is the boss, kind of a decent drop rate. There's the cloak, looks really cool. The hands, Shadow Grips of yeah, okay, those are the hands. Now the back is the dark leather cloak, vanilla level leatherworking. Check your local leatherworker or your local auction house for the back. Easy to get that piece. The tabard is a quest reward from Shadow Moon Valley. That is the BC version of Shadow Moon Valley, in case you're keeping score at home. And the headpiece is the helm of the Dominatrix, Cathedral of Eternal Night, Dominatrix. So Dominatrix drops quite a few pieces here. And the Maul of Tyranny, Mythic Hellfire Citadel. We're going to start off with the shoulders, which are the grave-dredged pauldrons, Tomb of Sargeras, the Desolate Host, and about a 12% drop rate on those shoulders. Next up, the chest piece, which you really can't kind of see behind a tabard thing, but the Wormskull breastplate, Utgard Keep, Dalron the Controller. You can buy it on the auction house. The belt is the Prideful Gladiator's Girdle of Prowess, which of course is from the Mop PvP vendor one. It's so easy to get. If you hoard it, it'll be Grievous, so that's a super easy piece. Next up, the legs, part of the same drop set from Wrath of the Lich King. So as the chest, Wormskull leg plates, the Nexus, various mobs, or you can just buy it on the auction house. So far, a few easy pieces to get. We have a Dude Troll showing the feet, the Spiked Terrorwake Great Boot. So this has a few of those same pieces as the first set we showed, but this is just a different setting here. Grave Warden Handguards, Tomb of Sargeras, Hard Jaden, 5% on the drop rate for those. Next up, the back, out of Frostfire Ridge, various mobs, or just buy it on the auction house, probably the best way to go. Next up, the tabard, which is the Ogre-La tabard, kind of an odd pick, but I like it. Major cities. And you can pick up that tabard. So it's basically you gotta get the ogres to like you to get that. The horseman's horrific hood, of course, from Hollow's End, and the weapon, Shadow Moon Valley. It is a quest reward for the axe. My name is Luxeley, and I want to thank you guys for tuning in. And I'm going to leave you with this final thought, something I always say: whatever it is by you, whether it's morning, afternoon, or night, make it epic. Thanks for watching.